We're at 8:54. Most importantly, we're about to play the first game of the day. Always choke the first game of the day. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. So we need a big one here. Torque, thanks for the 4 with Prime. Pawn into the middle. Okay. The knights are coming out. We're feeling good. The 2 knights, then the bishop. At this point, this is easy. You know? We got this stuff on lock. Okay? Little snorkel ourselves. He's snorkeling, I'm snorkeling. I can't let him out snorkel me, for too long. Now hang on just a second here. Is this a guy being low T and letting me use a little level 2 habits, a little more space, playing with a little more aggression, right? This is what we're interested in. Look at this compared to if we just brought the pawn up 1 square. Now, if you just played d6, would it be a mistake? Absolutely not. But may as well do a little more for yourself. Take that pawn all the way into the center, and it'll definitely pay off. All right, bishop e2. I mean, where are those rooks going? No surprise, right? Bishop's controlling the center. Rooks are coming into the middle. And this is looking like a cakewalk. At least in terms of the habits. All right, there's those RPMs. Let's get the engine running. Queen needs to move. I mean, that's the center. We can't stay in the center, so I'll probably do the next best thing. Knight needs to move. Any secrets here? I didn't think so. Into the center. Like I said. Need to take here. Into the center. More trades. Not complaining. Ah, this guy's not interested in more trades. I see. All right. Let's finish up our RPMs over here. Okay. Well, all closed up, boys. On to the next one. That's it. This game's been pretty simple, no? Just RPMs. I mean, let's finish off the last RPM right here. E-pawn on deck is absolutely right. We got to take it back. Hey, we could take it with the bishop. I feel like if we take it with the queen, get a nice trade right here. Everything looking good. Yeah, give me those trades. Into the center. Okay. Let's stay right in the middle here. We're even going to double up here. We're in an endgame, so you already know I'm going to be considering bringing my king in. It's like pretty much top priority. And he understands it's top priority, which is, I think, why he's prevented that from happening. Okay. What are we going to do now? Maybe offer a trade and try to get our king in the middle where it belongs. Okay. Into the middle. It's that king right there. That's the difference. Right? That's the difference in the two positions. This is really the kings. Okay, we're up in there. We are up in there. Okay, so we pretty much got our king in the middle. We want to use our pieces to attack our opponent's pawns. That's it, right? That's pretty much it. So I'm going to use this bishop. I'm going to go here. I'm going to attack a pawn. And I know that if I take this pawn, I got a pawn that can just move all the way down the board. And that's easy. We have a rook smack in the middle. We have a king pretty much approaching the middle, ready to move in here. And we pretty much have like 2 to 3 endgame habits, and we just do them every single time. Hunt down some of your opponent's pawns. Okay, it'd be nice to go in the middle, but we'll just stay central for now. Okay, we're gonna take that pawn. No surprise there. No surprise there. He's moving the rook. We'll move our bishop. Try to keep hunting down the pawns. What else is new? Take the pawns, active king, and as soon as you got a pass pawn, down the board. Okay, pawn here. We're going to use our king, right? You don't want to let that pawn get too far ahead of you, so make sure to take that. All right, we'll put our rook into the middle here. And, right, we're got to just send it, right? Let's send it. Push, push, push. Okay, here, let's offer a rook trade with our opponent here. I mean, the guy's got 3 pawns, but all it took was 1. The little pawn that could. The little pawn that could. And yes, congratulations to our opponent on move 44 for activating their king in the endgame. Did you hear me? I said move 44. By the time he activated his king, I had a goddamn queen on the board. I mean, this is the difference between me and him. Okay? My king has been active since when? When did we get active? Where was king f8? Move 24. 24. But he's active on move 44. 20 moves? No wonder. The king activity is what's going to separate you from your rating peers. It's a simple thing. I'm just reminding you that your king's an actual useful piece in the endgame, right? You might think that it's not useful. Get our king in front of the pawns. Anytime, like, I don't know, you have like a lot of extra material, opponent has a bunch of pawns, you just want to get your king kind of like, you know, in front of everything. So as soon as you're in front, like, pretty safe. And then we got to bring this queen in. Okay, sort of like in here, try to take some pawns here. All right, we'll just take this pawn and, oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that? A little checkmate there. You're watching the Chess Habits on YouTube and then you saw this notification. And I'm saying this to someone who's going to eventually be watching this on YouTube. And maybe by the time they're watching on YouTube, I'll be streaming it on Twitch again. And it'll be an endless loop. We're in the content circle, yes. Just, you're stuck in there, in the washing machine. Good old Tesh, 53 months, tier 3. And hello to BJH. Mr. OG himself. Hello, BJH. You forgot some of the habits. You get a pass. You get a pass. BJH has forgot some of the habits. I forgot how long the guy's been subbed. So I think we both get a pass. It's been a long time for both, hasn't it? Time to get back into it. That's what I like to hear. That's what the habits is for. Getting people back into it, getting people into it. Like, there's a lot of ways to look into this game, but I really think what's the biggest difference is just have a look at the way that the opponent played this endgame and have a think to yourself how you might have played it, being with the habits, right? This king for sure should be here, right? Everyone in the circle should be capable of understanding that if you're in the end game, at the very least, the king should be here, right? You can't maybe get in there, but that's pretty good next option. That changes a lot, right? All of a sudden, these end games like this, they don't mean as much because your king is here, right? I'm not queening a pawn, but why am I queening a c pawn? Why does it look so easy? Because the guy hasn't moved his king at all. What do you guys know to do when there's a pass pawn? Number one, put a rook in front of it. And simply number two, use your king. Like, your king should be all over that thing. All over it. This is no good. King on g1. My guy moved his king pretty much when I was going to force him to move it anyway. Right? If the king was, just a couple squares over, the whole thing changes. Good morning to Big Spudge. Smoking Kipper. Thanks for the 3 months with Prime and Fractal Dust. Thanks for the 45. We won our first game of the day. This is big. Maybe an indication of things to come. Okay. Pawn into the center. You didn't forget these basic habits, did you? Knight controlling the center. The other knight follows all the time. I mean, I already know the next move. That's the great thing about the habits. You should be getting those moves out quick. Why would I not play a move like this? Honestly, because of a move like that. Take it. We take everything. We take everything. Right? You have to take. You just do. Bishop out. You might sit in a position and say, damn, I didn't really enjoy that capture I made. You might be like, oh man, I missed that tactic because of the habits. But what you're not crediting is the amount of bad moves that you're not making because of the habits. Right? When you're drilling fundamentals like that, it's easy to be like, well, this is what it's not letting me do. But you don't understand what it's preventing you from doing. You just don't understand. Let's castle. Got to get our pawn up here. And you know what I might do? Just thinking out loud here. I might go all the way in the center. I would say d3 makes a little bit more sense, but we're in level 2 now. I'll give some consideration to d4, right? Pawn all the way into the middle. Just that little bit more aggressive than d3. Just a little. See if it matters. Queen up. Obviously, a capture is a no-brainer for us. My guy saw a queen trade on the horizon, and he said, take a piece instead, brother. Now, the question is, after we take here, over under 2 moves. Over under 2 moves on this rook being hung on g8. Who's taking the over? Who's taking the under? Okay, it's our turn here. It's our turn here. Let's get our h3 habits in. And oh, the under is an absolute stunner, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, if you took the under, you just won big time. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You just cashed out massive. We got to take this. Queen takes. You know, we're still here. We're still vibing. Let's get that rook into the middle. Oh my bishop's attacked. We'll just have to move it to this great tactical square. Ah, so annoying when that happens. So annoying when the habits force you to play amazing, great moves. He put me in check and then he resigned. That's what the habits do to you. Put you in a straitjacket like that. He had me in check and he's like, actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done. I got nothing more to offer this game. My guy finally played rook g8 when it was actually possible. He said, all right, got my rook g8 in. I'll call it a day. That was safe, right? Rook g8, that was legal? Okay, I'll call it a day on that. Thanks. Just wanted to prove that I could play that move possibly, you know? Just wanted to get it in there. So congratulations for all those thriving on the under right now. You guys are the real prophets. Munin MP, it is another habit series. Welcome in, welcome in. It means that when you have less than 10 seconds, Dev Lab, you want to start getting pre-moves in. You don't want to be sluggish. You want to be pre-moving. Very important when you have less than 10 seconds. Like most of your moves should be pre-move style. All right, let's jump into the next one. Pawn into the middle. The knight follows, controlling the center. There is a capture, which means we take it. We still go back to our usual, right? Knight into the middle here. And now, here's the thing. The bishop can't really get to this square, right? A little bit annoying. And I would say that this move makes some sense if there was a knight there, right? Because we know about getting our bishop out. But I would never really advise you to just put your bishop there when there's nothing going on, right? Like there's no knight there. It just doesn't really make sense. In this case, it might be a reasonable move, but I don't think that's the safe habit for us to be getting into. So instead, we're going to play this relatively low T move, just D3. And you know what? I'm not too upset about it. Yes, I'm only getting my bishop out here, but my other bishop's still going to be reasonably happy. And this is just back to level 1 stuff anyway. I can't get my bishop there. Don't stress. Bishop here is still developing. Let's get castled. Snorkel so we can breathe. Bishop to E3, hitting the center. Oh, red dot, red dot, red dot. Hold on. Piece ever looking straight at you? Feel that red dot on you? Got to get out of dodge. Bishop out. Here we go. Very important. We got our bishop out. We're thinking rook to the middle. We're thinking queen up. We'll obviously capture that one back. So yeah, queen up, rooks to the middle. Pressure to move this rook to the middle is always a little bit lower once you already have an open line there. So maybe we'll just bring this rook in. TBD. Okay. Bring this rook on in. Okay, and let's hit him with the RPMs. I would definitely call this, don't necessarily need rook e1 here. Like I said, already on the open file, but I wouldn't call this a bad move either. Okay, a trade. We're always going to get that capture in and continue with the beautiful RPMs. Okay. RPMs. Okay. Don't mind if I do. We'll take here. Queen takes back. Okay. Now, we've talked about this before. Queen takes h3. It's really this move. It's really this. It's really this right here. This one, we discussed a few remedies for this one. If someone sacrifices on you, I would say you have two main ideas. I would say the first one is to move the rook and bring the bishop back because it, hits the queen, and you can also use it as a blockader. But remember, as soon as your shield gets stripped here, you want to replace it, if you can, with your pieces. So that's why the first idea is, maybe get the bishop here because it kind of replaces one of those pawns. The other idea is maybe get your knight there. It kind of replaces one of those pawns. So even though this seems like a strange knight move, and it's not really a move that has anything to do with the center, you're comforted by the fact that you just won a piece. The only reason you'll ever be considering or trying to remember stuff like this is if you're up a piece. So you'll be in a good spot. And yes, it feels a little bit strange, but if you don't put pieces back in front of your king, then you truly are going to be wide open and subject to attacks. So we're trying to get ahead of that. If someone's sacrificing on you, I want to be there, keeping things defended. Okay, so rook up. What are we going to do here? Honestly, I'm looking back at our idea of maybe getting that bishop there. Like this comes to mind, or rook e1 and bishop f1 comes to mind. Both of these moves look pretty good. Don't want to get sidetracked too much. Again, we got this guy here, but we're not really done yet. Like we kind of need this this bishop to do that as well. So this hits the center. Also eyeballs, our king here in a safe way. Okay, we do have a trade as well. So we're just going to go ahead and lock that one in. And okay, offer another trade here in the middle. Okay, I think we just go with our RPMs. He's going here again. I think I'm sticking with it here. Hit the RPMs hard. Rook in front of the pawn here. When the pawns start becoming runaways, at some point you need something in front, right? You need to stop them. So we're gonna stop the pawn. Rook there. We're gonna go ahead and grab the pawn. More trades. Okay. Not upset. Okay, queen is under attack. I say we stay a bit central here. H6. Credit to him for the snorkel. Let's make sure to get our capture in. We got a few RPMs to check out here. Now, you might not have noticed it because we're just in the thick of a game here, but this knight is saving all of you right now. You don't realize it. The knight is covering this. The knight is covering this. The knight is blocking the check. The knight is actually doing everything right now. A very good habit. Ah, yes. Come at me, bro. That pawn structure is the Yeah, think of champions right there. Into the middle. Into the middle. We're in the middle of the board. We're doing our best. We're trying to trade. Can't complain. Hello, Eddie. Okay, the rook comes down. I mean, hit him and quit him with the RPMs, I guess. Hit him with the RPMs at all times. Okay, endgame. It's time to bring this king in. The center awaits. Okay, we got a runaway here, which means we need to go back in front. And, ooh, okay, well, should we get some pre-moves going here? Just zigzagging around here. Don't mind me. Just hanging around here. Just hanging around. Yeah, don't mind me. Yeah, just pre-moving. Just having a good time here, folks. Just a guy living his best life here. I'll take that. Sorry, yep. Brief little interlude there. Yep, sorry. Ah, ruined my fun. Ruined my fun. Well, a well-played game to our opponent here. Did he really let up? Don't think so. Was the sacrifice good? Also don't think so. Did we handle it well? I think so. But, as usual, when people sacrifice against you, you're probably going to be a lot lower on time. That's just how chess works, right? You're not going to play your fastest game when your back's against the wall defending some lunatic's attack, right? I'm going to have my fastest game when I know exactly what's going on. I'm not scared, no threats. Right, so we got into this position, and look at this. He killed it. Rook behind the pawn, scooped that up. So he went rook behind that pawn, then he went rook behind his own pawn. The guy was absolutely flying. And then he just moved all the pawns over there. So really can't say anything bad. Pretty good, I would say, Eddie, yeah. He's got some habits of his own. Maybe not all of them. I don't necessarily agree with bishop h3, but at least what we can take away from that game is how he handled it, right? Bishop takes h3 is very scary, but you see how this knight move covers everything. f1 means you won't get mated like that. f3, g4, just some very useful squares. You know, if a knight would come into g4, and you got it covered. If queen wanted to end up on f1 to deliver mate, it would be covered. So even here, there's no queen f3 check, no queen f1 check. The knight is actually doing a lot. Queen f3 would be mate. You don't even realize how much the queen is doing. Or how much the queen can't do from h3 with that knight there. Effect X. Thank you for the 8 months with Prime. All right. Onwards. But remember, people sacrificing their bishops. First of all, red dot important. That saved us earlier. But if they're still sacrificing, I'm looking at the knight over there. I'm looking at maybe getting my bishop here. Those are the best ways to handle that. Thank you, Asilius. Go. Got a Mark Esserman emote there. A few of them. Go, Mark. All right. On to the next one. pawn into the middle. Obviously the knight next. The other knight after that. Okay, let's get our bishop out. We're castling. We're looking at our snorkel here. We're looking at the center here. I see this. Immediately makes me think, okay, let's just get this move out. Our queen captures back. Okay, let's get castled here. Knight in. We've seen this before. I know it looks funny, but do not ever feel bad bringing your queen back to where it started. And why should this never bother you? Because you know how to develop your pieces, because you know habits. So having the queen back where she started, it doesn't throw you off at all. If anything, it reminds you, oh, okay, we're back to this normal setup. If you start putting your queen on g3 or on d3, then all of a sudden your pawns are going to be blocked. Your queen's going to be at a weird square. Keep it to, around positions that you're familiar with. It's going to make more sense. We go d3, of course. Our bishop's under attack. Okay, middle. Always look middle first. Okay. A bit of a tough call here, but that's for me. I mean, 5 points versus 3 points. The math is mathin' here. The math is mathin'. Okay, our knight needs to move into the center. Take that, and let's keep it up here. Bishop needs to move. Can't really go there, so I'll go here instead. Yeah, a lot of people want to study chess. A lot of people want to be good at chess, but ain't nobody want to go to math class. Everyone claims they know the value of the pieces, but when they get exchanged, somehow I doubt you. Okay, well, we got our bishop hitting the center, and of course we're going to take it right away. That's just how we roll. Rook into the middle. Our queen out and up. Our rook also joining. Okay. We've got the d5. He's all over the center here. We got our rooks. We got our snorkel. We're castled. RPM. We still trade everything we can, of course. Why would we not trade everything we can? Trade. RPM, RPM. We do know this. Gotta sort of keep those pawns under control. When they start sprinting a little too far up the board, always shuffle a rook in front of that. That's important. Okay, finish off those RPMs. Okay, I guess we'll finish off the RPMs here. And now we got to bring our king in, right? King into the middle. King into the middle. Okay, nice trade there. Oh, blunders his queen here. Perfect. Okay, how are we down? So I traded a rook and then I won a queen. Tell me how I'm down. Tell me how I'm down material. We traded a rook, we won a queen. A little bit strange. Now, that time the math really wasn't mathing. Hold on a second. We always talk about the mathing, but I'm not sure that it did right there. Yeah, I'm doubtful. I'm doubtful. All right. Let's hit him and quit him with the RPMs. RPMs. Ooh, okay. Big dog on campus with pawn to f5. I see you. Oh, okay. He's hitting us with the rook. What else can he do? Let's see what he's capable of. Hey, we're gonna stay locked. Right? No shame. You gotta play these positions on because we have seen everything. And if you don't believe that it's worth playing on, you just need to watch this series. Are you gonna get checkmated like this? Yeah, most likely. But not even most likely like 90%. Most likely like 60%. Maybe 70%. The other percent, you don't lose the game. Very worth it. Yep, we have seen quite literally everything. So I repeat, you are throwing away points by resigning. Never do it. Yeah, the math didn't quite make sense there. Jake RRR, thanks for the 18 months. Tal Percule, thanks for the 5 gifted. Appreciate that. Happy to hear Starry Safaris. Welcome into the circle today. Corleone, thanks for the 66 with Prime. You're almost there. You're almost where you set out to make it to when you first subbed. 3 more months. Can you be inducted into the circle, Spudge? A big ask. A big ask. Guys, Spudge is looking to be inducted into the circle. I lean on the circle here to judge the appropriate method because obviously he's going to have to earn his membership the way anyone else would have by presenting his homework. So it's important that we decide on an important time constraint that's fair for Spudge. For reference, Spudge is in 1900. Hello, Rooked Jacket. 1 minute, says Board Butcher. No, we're talking about our homework. We're talking about our homework. Oh, did you guys forget you had homework? Bonerpool says 10 seconds. Krodiak suggests 25. Let's remember that our guy Dave, less than 1,000, pretty much managed it in 30. Oh, Spudge, you came here to join the circle and you're not even ready with your homework. Well, you're going to be in for a rude awakening, Spudge. Okay, well, we'll certainly have Spudge. He wants his moment. Okay, Spudge, we'll definitely give you the, same treatment here. Okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's right, Salty. Forget the homework. You don't even know what the circle is. Jeez, Louise. All right. Pause the operations here. All righty. Get that pawn into the middle of the board. The knight follows. We're waiting with our other knight, but we don't play it no matter what, especially with the black pieces. Got to be a little more conscious. Start with the bishop. We do not want this move to happen. We are preventing it right now. And obviously now, if it happens, that's okay, because we can castle. 3 + 3 = 5 + 1 every time. And would you look at that? And let's get developed. How about a level 2 type of move? And yes, after a potential h3 move, we are not taking that knight. We are showcasing our deep understanding of the game and playing bishop h5. Why? It's a pin. Why did you play that? Did you play this so you could just take it? No. You played this for the pressure of pinning it. If the queen moved out of the way, maybe I would take it because then the pawns double and I'm getting something back. But right now, I'm not. Right? Just a trade for no reason, really. Okay. The pawn goes up. Well, there's a reason that we put this beautiful thing here on h5. So the natural follow-up is exactly what people have been doing to us. We finally get to utilize it one time ourselves. One time and one time only. Knight into d4. Amazing. Into the middle. Yes, it is a little bit out of turn, isn't it? Right? We do this a little out of turn. We would be more used to simple moves like this. But we're doing this for a reason. We have a pin. As soon as there is no pin, we obviously take because now we're getting something in return, right? The pawns are doubling. This is exactly what we want. And we put the bishop there. We're not interested in just taking. But we're interested in taking when we get something in return, like double pawns. And in this case, Buddy just resigns. Would you guys resign there? No. I want a piece. But we're 800s, dude. Like, we can't be like, oh, I lost a piece, I'm out. You're 800s, man. Pieces are like pawns at that rating. You can't be resigning after that. A single piece. But I'm not 800, but I am 800. I'm following the habits the same as you. No different. And they don't know who they're playing. They're just playing another 800. So the fact remains, do not resign. Do not resign. Would we have gone for the fork? Of course. We got basic tactics here in level 2. Basic. The bots were getting too strong for old habits. I have no problem with that. Mainly because I'm happy to see anybody graduating away from playing against the chess.com bots. On to the next one. Boy, did this work out. Pawn into the middle of the board. I think we know the next move, and we definitely know the next move unless something crazy happens. It didn't, so the knights come out together. Then the bishop attacks the center. And, oh, okay, we have a trade. Let's make sure to do that. Knight into the middle. Absolutely. That's a trade. I haven't really had to think about any of these moves. Let's get castled here. We want to sort of connect our center a little bit. We got our snorkel with h3 so we can breathe later. Oh, hang on a sec. Capture that. And I mean, it's in the center and it's looking free. Oh, okay. We'll take that. Okay, good talk. Like, what is happening? What is happening in people's heads that just compels them to do this? I'm so curious. I really want to know. What brain cells have to interact in order for this to be, like, it's not just bishop here and then some sort of follow-up. It's just bishop here and, yeah, let me just defend. Yeah, okay. What? This is a remarkable thing to observe. Okay. Bishop can't go pretty much anywhere, so we know exactly where our bishop's going to go, right? Right here. And we want to get a rook to the middle. We want to get our queen out. These are just the moves that we want to do. So rook to the middle. You don't have a great square for this queen yet. I mean, obviously we want to go here, but it's a little bit difficult to achieve. So maybe all the way out there, but obviously first, let's make sure to get our trade in. And our queen, we need to move our queen, right? To get a rook in the middle, but I'm not really seeing good squares there. So I think this hitting the center, hitting the queen does make the most sense. So we'll probably go here. So we got our queen out. We're looking for a trade, right? All good things. Okay, our opponent goes here, and honestly, rook to the middle looks pretty damn good, but with my hawk-like vision, I'm able to see a nice fork here. Basic tactic. There we go. Oh, queen h2 check. Shit. I missed this move. I forgot if he puts me in check once, I have to resign. Yeah, I forgot about that rule. Now, what do we like about our opponent's game? We like the creation of your own ideas. I respect that at this level 100%. So this over trading the queens, I respect him for that. Absolutely. Who knows if there's a rook here? Who knows if there's, you almost got it created there. I get it. But habits is still completely effective against people who played this. And this is something we can't respect. Bishop h3 is just nonsense. Pure nonsense. What is this? I'm starting to think that our snorkel is honestly a tactic. I'm willing to say it's almost a basic tactic. The amount of people that take that is shocking to me. Now, obviously, sometimes it works. Of course, we're not invincible. Attacks are generally tough to stop. But if you think about all the times people have done it and all the times it's worked, it's been in a clear minority. So you guys are better off just not bothering. Queen g5. Yeah, double attack, sure. You might be thinking that, but like, first of all, that's so advanced for this level, and it fails for like a multitude of reasons. Which is why I'm saying just don't bother. Don't even get into that yourself. You're much better off. On to the next one. But a reminder, just how easy those habits are. We just put the pawn on h3, the guy took it. We developed our bishop because we didn't have any other squares for it. Got to finish development, and then it was time for rooks to the middle. And then we had to move our queen, and there was really no central squares available, so we picked the next best thing. It's defended, it offers a trade, and it hits the center. Pretty good move. Well, we know what move we're going to do in the center. Unless he plays pawn up there, then we'll just match it with d5. So, yep, here we go. The knight out, we're coming with our knight out, right? Just starting to get used to those very popular ways to begin the game. And our other knight is following suit, unless we see this move, which we do not. So in comes the knight. Capture towards the center. Bishop needs to move. Can we go here? Unless there's a knight there and we're pinning it. No. Can we go here, blocking that pawn? No. So here we go. Goes here. Time for us to get castled. Okay, knight returns. Let's make sure to get that pawn move in. Dude, I swear this is a tactic. I swear. Playing pawn here must be a tactic. What? This is actually crazy. It's mind-blowing. What is going on in there? And then the pause afterwards, like what's being concocted here? I don't know. I really don't know. Knight. Can't go in the center there. Gonna put it in the center here. You wish your opponents would give you bishops for free? Play this move. I promise you, you'll get it. Like, what are we talking about here? Bishop, let's stay central. Was knight h7 a move? I would accept knight h7. Yep, definitely would. Normally, I'd say it's a little bit more when there's a queen around there, but I would still accept it. I would still accept it. Let's get back to some basics here, like this, for example. Pawn in the middle. Right, we got to get this bishop developed. Okay, he's moving the knight. Let's, of course, first go for our trade. And we want to bring this bishop out. I was going to say there, but we no longer can. Can't bring the bishop there. We can develop the bishop just to this square. But again, when the queen's coming out like that, my first instinct is, you know, make sure to just give this a little defense. So I don't mind getting the king up. Got to protect your snorkel. It's so important. Snorkel helps you breathe. You need that thing. Queen takes in the center. Well, I'm probably just going to go here because you know what? This is a move to develop my queen. Hits the center and offers to trade with my opponent. Happy with all of the above. King needs to move. I guess let's kind of go somewhere safe here. Bishop developing here next. Rook into the center next. I think this all makes pretty good sense. Okay. Looking pretty nice. Okay, we have our rooks to the middle. We have developed both bishops hitting the center, one knight in the center, queen also hitting the center. You see the quality of my pieces using the habits? Might not be perfect, but if every single piece has something to do with the center, there can't be anything wrong with that, right? Like, that just has to be good. All right, we have a trade here. Let's go straight for it. A little bit of a red dot ourselves here, just pieces eyeballing, important pieces. Take that queen, put us somewhere in the middle. I wish I could go there, literally, in the middle, actually. That would make me happy. Can't quite do that. We definitely have some RPMs to get out here. A5, C5, for example. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, he's one step ahead of me. He's one step ahead of me. Okay. Our bishop is hanging here. We need to move our bishop. Save it. And of course, continue. Queen hit. Let's just stay relatively central. This is probably the better move to play, but kind of liked leaving us lined up here. Anything to do with the center, I think you got to be happy with at that point. Finish these RPMs. Opponents putting up a great fight here, but this is why I mean, like, our opponent played bishop takes here and completely lost a piece. You've seen in the last even couple games, we've won a piece. Our opponent has done what? Just resigned the game. How crazy is that? Right? Just knowing that we're up a piece right now, and I think you guys would agree it's still reasonably competitive here, right? Like, it's not, the game's not over, not even close. Like, there's a whole fight happening. There's a whole struggle. So, never resign. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Maybe double the rooks. I don't really have a move, so double the rooks here. If you're ever a little clueless, double them rooks. Can't RPM the c-pawn. No, we would have a hanging piece there. Can't be hanging pieces. Okay, rooks hit. Guess we'll just move a little bit more towards the center. Offer a trade, of course. Don't mind that at all. Whoa! Okay. Easy there, bud. Oi, oi, oi. Rook takes f7. Rook takes f7. My goodness. That's quite the move there. My God. Well, obviously we can't be caught doing this. Giving away my queen for a rook? Never. But at least if he takes this way, we win a rook. So. Impressive from Richie Ocean. Hit us with a sack attack. Rook takes f7. Not much you can do about that. Not much you can do, honestly. Centro 2 years. Thank you and welcome back. He didn't play bad for an 800, did he? No. But imagine Richie Ocean if he had a goddamn bishop on the board. The guy can clearly play. He's clearly good, but what is this move? There's no point. Imagine he just had that same game, same energy with the bishop on the board. You know? That just doesn't need to be in his game. It doesn't need to be there at all. He won the game, so naturally I would keep playing bishop takes h6 as him, right? That's the 800 mindset. All right, we just got to bounce on to the next one here. Not that Paul, also 2 years, also with Prime. Back-to-back identical resubs. Okay. Of course, we're preparing this, but against this one, we need to make sure to match appropriately in the center. Get these knights out. Bishop follows. Obviously a trade. Get our other bishop out. Obviously a trade. He goes here. Well, we'll start with our snorkel. Very, very useful. Always get that in nice and early. And we can go ahead and get castled. Okay, the knight into the middle. We'll take it. No problem at all. And I think we'll just finish up getting our rooks into the middle here. Save our bishop. I mean, I'm not just going to sit there losing it. Okay. Let's bring the rooks to the middle here. We got our snorkel. We got our knight bishop out. Okay, a trade. We're going to take, of course. Knight takes. Well, good habit to get into. If you got a rook aimed at the queen, it really tells you that you can put this bishop just about anywhere, right? Because you have a nice threat that you're uncovering. A discovered attack. It's called a discovered attack because your opponent will discover that you have an attack on him. Now, I know that looks like a fancy move, but all part of a basic tactical theme that you can get used to. We just grab that pawn. It feels like a fancy move, but it's not a sacrifice at all. It's just a winning tactic, which is why I've told you guys, go into the tactics, custom tactics, and practice discovered attack. Half of them are going to be literally exactly this, right? Exactly this. Very helpful. Fork incoming. Not wrong at all. But we've come to expect this. And we have our pieces here. And there's pawns barreling down the middle. We know it's time to either move the piece or stop the pawn from pushing. Both completely acceptable here. Don't necessarily think I have one over the other. E5 is getting a pawn into the center of the board, is also preventing that. I'm not bothered at all. Bishop takes A7. I think it's RPM time is what I do. I think it's RPM time. Takes. We got more RPMs. We're not done yet. Oh, a little side to side? You didn't see me there? Took this way? You know, he was looking here. And then boom, hit him with this one. All the way over there. Caught him looking. Free piece. Free piece. Now, after we've taken that free piece, back to the basics. The RPMs. Okay, I guess we'll take again. Trades are good. Never mind a trade. Okay, and we need to bring this queen back a little bit central. That is the most central we can be. Perfect, and then keep hitting him with the RPMs. Random, pawn, move. Random, pawn, move. Just chuck him up there. Oh, we got a trade. Thank you very much. It's the end game, guys. What does that tell you? It means king should be making a grand entrance into the middle of the board. It means your rook should be targeting your opponent's pawns and taking them. Bring our king in. Now let's use this rook. Can we target some pawns here? Got our king in the middle. Feeling pretty good about that. I'm just... You think you're running away from me, pal? Think you're running away from me? These aren't hard moves to make, right? We got our king in the middle. What's this guy think he's doing? What does this guy think he's doing? Take all his pawns here. Don't mind if I do. Now, need to start RPMing, right? We're going up the board. Let's go. Okay. I see clear skies ahead. Clear skies ahead. Keep that king in the middle. Onwards and onwards. We want to keep pushing up the board here. Okay. Can't quite do it. How about our knight into the middle? Maybe preparing for the other pawn. Oh, perfect. We can make a queen here. Then we have to hit him with the RPM. Oh, man. We're in this position again? Ah, drat. If only we knew how to do it. Ah, god damn it. Now, we need to come up with a box. We can take it all the way back to where it started. Okay? King and rook need to coordinate. Let's start with our box. I'm going to bring the rook probably pretty close to the king. And then we'll see if we can close that box. Okay. So we'll start with this, right? I like to keep the rook and the king kind of together. So, oh, wow, we can make that box real small right there. Okay. Can we make it smaller? Yes, we can. Let's bring our king up, right? Cover the rook. Can we make it smaller without checking? No, we can't. Same thing? No, we can't. So it's a king move. Can we make the box smaller without checking? Yes, we can. Can we make the box smaller without checking? No, we can't. So it's a king move. Come in. Can we make the box smaller? Yes, we can. Can we make the box smaller? No, we can't. King move. Yes, we can. Okay, we can't make it smaller on the next turn, so it's time for a king move. Can't make the box smaller without giving check, so a king move. Make the box smaller. Get your king in position. Give yourself a beautiful hug. And make sure that the end looks somewhat phallic. And that's the checkmate. Just like that. Key ingredient here. Do not make the box so small that the guy doesn't... Your rook should never, ever be on this square, right? Never a good feeling. Once your rook is here and your king are here, this is what it's always going to look like. Your pieces will always be on these two squares with the king in the corner. And then they'll be a mate within the next couple moves. So once I get my rook to this square, I know that my king goes here. I don't need to think about anything. Once it's there, either you have checkmate next turn, or you give yourself a nice hug, and you'll have checkmate the turn after that. There we go. We get to execute that technique. Tuner, thanks for the 8 months with Prime. That's why this was the homework. Right? That's why we've been drilling this. That's why guys like M Unchained are not going to miss an opportunity in game. They're going to absolutely be nailing this checkmate. And you will be as well. We did that with 30 seconds. We didn't have to, right? By the time we had that position, we had 1 minute, 11 seconds. I think everybody in this chat with 1 minute and 11 seconds should be able to execute this mate using this technique every time. Every time. Now, we're going to take a quick recess. We're at 8:70. Class will continue. Short break. Grab a snack, a refill, breath of fresh air. Head over to the tetherball. We'll be back and reconvene in 5. 5-minute games, 8:70. Let's get that pawn into the center of the board. Well, a capture is nice and easy. And you might think this when the queen would take it back. But we can just develop our other knight, of course. Don't get into the business of, trying to keep that pawn. Keep it real simple, real habitual. Speaking of habits, snorkel, of course. And let's get the queen out. Okay, we got a trade there. We're still kind of lagging behind on getting our knight out, so finally let's complete that. Knight out to c3. It's been quite a few. Capture towards the center. And we have our bishop to develop, and we shall. We have our king to get castled. We want to get a pawn in the middle. Okay, that's actually good timing. We've got to develop our other bishop now. Do these moves make sense? I hope so. That's the center. We can't go there, so we have to go here. The rooks join the middle. And then it's time for some random pawn moves. That's just it. There's the rook. There's the other rook. We also are in an endgame, so I will start to get my king involved here. Okay. Take that back. We could double the rooks, for example. Stay central. That makes sense to me. Okay, we'll just finish up our RPMs here. Okay, don't really have that one, so I would say it might be time to bring our king to the middle. Nice little habit here. Okay, got our king in, we got our rooks there. I definitely don't mind this because it seems to contribute to more RPMs. And we're still aimed at the center. So, in the interest of RPM farming. This seems pretty nice to do. Okay, let's go here. Oh, check. Ooh. Okay. I'll stay near the center there. Whoops. Okay, looks like there are some trades to be made. Trades to be made. Okay, and I guess now that we're in an endgame, king into the middle, move pawns, and try to use our piece to attack our opponent's pawns. Those are the three rules. Okay, let's just leave the bishop here. Okay, can't really move this king anywhere, so just kind of attack the bishop here. Get some RPM's going like this. Pawn up. Okay, let's take that. I'm just kind of move these pawns up. King back into the middle. And, you know, see if we can just like go crazy with the king. See if we can go crazy with the king. Active king in the endgame. We're a little bit better than him. If that king was already up here, it would be much tougher for us. Okay, here we go. It's just sending that king. King to take everything. Head back to the center here. Okay, we got a capture right there. Okay, we are in the center. We are firmly in the center. What can we do? What can we do? Just kind of waiting around here. Don't need to do that much. All right. Just kind of reacting to what he's doing. King here. So we'll put our bishop into the center. Also performs an important job there. Okay. Still moving the king here. What do you got for me, buddy? What do you got for me? Moving our king. Bishop seems well positioned, just smack in the center. Okay. Okay, bishop needs to move. Where can we? I guess we can stay central here. We're staying central. I've been making the same moves the whole time here. Okay, I guess stay in the middle. Okay, we can't exactly go back, so I guess stay central here. It's kind of the best we can do. Okay, we can't really move our king, so we have to move our bishop, and we can't go directly in the center, so I guess we kind of have to go somewhere else. This looks pretty safe. Okay, I guess we can go back. How many moves has it been here? Put our bishop in the middle. It feels like we've been playing forever here. What's what's happening? Very professional. Very professional. Two guys happy with the result there. Nothing was coming between us. I mean, that was a lot of moves. That was a lot of moves. I guess that endgame right there kind of shows you how likely opposite bishops are to be a draw. We started down quite some pawns, but in the end, wasn't too bad. We managed. And what happened in this one? Honestly, pretty easy. This was a game we didn't really have to think about. We traded queens early, develop our pieces easy, RPMs, king to the middle, and we were set for the end game. This was actually a mistake, but didn't realize that our king was kind of exposed there. But even still, the mistake happened and wasn't too bad. Used our active king, I think, pretty well in the end game, and just made sure not to lose any more pawns. That's about it. Nice logical result, I would say. Habits. Let's bring the pawn into the middle. Let's defend this. The two knights. Okay, d4. We're going to take that, of course. Ooh, okay. Haven't seen this one before, but I guess we'll put that knight right on into the middle here. Well, we need some sort of stake in the center, so I think this one makes the most sense. Not having a pawn in the center does not feel good. So it was either going to be this one or maybe just d6, but at some point you have to challenge the center. You never want a situation where your opponent's just got like absolutely every single central square under their control. Let's bring out the bishop here. Castling. Get that snorkel out with h6. These are the moves we're looking to do. Bishop here. Not going to stop us from castling. Okay. I think the snorkel is well timed here. Gonna capture that back. Any trades, we go for it. Our bishop wants to develop here, even here. I think at this point, we could actually develop our bishop and protect the knight, which I love. Feels good, man. So bishop's out. You guys know the next moves. Rook's to the middle, which means the queen's going to have to take a step up, most likely. Okay, queen here. I guess queen up makes the most sense. I mean, does defend this pawn, I suppose. Pawn up. Let's go ahead and take that one. And we will recapture and bring the rooks to the middle. Nothing spectacular so far. The habits are taking us home. That's a trade. Don't even need to consider. Don't need to consider other options. Rook into the middle. We are also in an endgame, so you know that we want to bring our king in. Take. Obviously, we do trades. Let's get our other rook into the middle. Okay. Got lots of nice trades in there. And we are in the end game, so let's start to bring our king in. Okay. King all the way in. King into the middle. We're going to have our king in the middle. We're going to use our pawn. I mean, nothing but clear skies ahead here. Well, let's push the damn thing. Push, we'll push, we'll push. Not our finest push there. Okay, we'll push some more pawns. Okay. Push, push, push. Got our king in the middle. We're just sending pawns. All right. We'll take that one there. Okay. Sending more pawns up the board. Okay, we're out of pawn moves. I repeat. Oh, we'll take that one from you. Don't mind if I do. Just follow the habits. There's nothing in front of you. Send the pawn. Keep it simple. Okay. Just go in here. I suppose we'll take that. And again, there's nothing in front, so may as well push. Keep following our habits there. Push, push, push. Okay. Can take this one. Now we should probably hang on to this. Can sort of station our bishop in the center of the board. Push the rest of our pawns. Okay, he's giving me every single pawn here. Somehow we have a 3-on-0 at this point. King. We got every pawn here. We're crushing the guy. Crushing the guy. Bishop into the middle here. All right. We're crushing him. Let's so you're telling me we're up 3 pawns and I don't know how to win? We have 3 extra pawns. What are we supposed to do? This is crazy. Dude, it's these opposite bishops, man. You just can't win a game of chess with them involved. Three pawns, all protected. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Well, no, H2 is not really a pawn sacrifice, right? H2 is following habits. But I'm just thinking out loud to myself. I'm like, I don't really know what this changes though. He's still going to keep doing the same things. Huh. This is remarkable. 3 pass pawns. 3 pass pawns. You'd think this would be a walk in the park. I've never been more disappointed in a draw. Like 3 pass, you'd think that a position like this would be winning. You'd think that you'd done enough at this point. Opponent is probably laughing his ass off. What the hell? Lose your mind if you had that in a tournament game? I mean, can't really complain. Because I don't think we, we really did it poorly. It really is a draw. That's right. It really is a draw. How crazy. 0.00 as the evaluation is shocking. Shocking. You would think 3 pawns win for sure, but 0.00. And the engine is just absolutely laughing in your face. Well, a good reminder, a good lesson for everybody that these opposite colored bishops are pretty much always going to be a draw. Now, do you need to do anything about that? Do you need to worry about that? Not at all. Not at all. If you draw these games, who cares? Go to the next one. You don't need to stress. Divisible by 0 says it's not a draw. Go 1 move back. You are wrong. Okay, we'll go 1 move back. Please, divisible by 0. What's your suggestion here? Because I thought it was a draw. I thought it was a draw. King to h4 and play h2. So why did we need to go 1 move back? So we were in this position. You said go 1 move back. So what do you mean 1 move back? We went 1 move back. What's happening here? Thank you, Divide Peaks. 23 months with Prime. Get the king to g4, h4, and play h2. So, king h4. And you have a big idea here. So our opponent, the sucker, is going to play this. And you are going to play h2 and win the game. Okay, divisible by 0. Walk us through it. So bishop takes on h2. And you wanted to do what? King h3. Okay. And I'll take my bishop, and I'll go here. And your next move? But hang on, you said that it wasn't a draw. You said I was wrong. So what's your next move? Now it looks like you're wrong. That's unfortunate. It's unfortunately going to be a ban. Yeah. Got to send him to the principal's office. Can't be interrupting class like that. See you, pal. When he's out of detention, maybe we can revisit. Got to make sure you're paying attention in class here. I said it was a draw. We continue. These bishops, oh my goodness, all they do is produce draws. All they do is draw. No problem. Like I said, you don't need to stress yourself trying to get a win in this. You don't need to be like our guy here h2, king h3, some sort of Christmas miracle. No. If you get in this position and you draw, sure, go to the next game because you'll be in the opposite position, down material, and you'll also make the same draw. So it'll even out. It'll even out. That's right, G Madrid. The lads had to be careful there. Okay. On to the next game. I'm getting bored of these opposite bishops. Ay, ay, ay. Five minutes. Let's go. C4. Unusual, but if it doesn't really stop us from playing our opening, then I think we'll just go for it. We don't have our bishop out. Maybe this? It's kind of confusing, to be honest. Play a little bit more of an aggressive move and then get our bishop out. I'm not exactly sure what to do. This guy's playing in a way that I haven't really seen before. So obviously we're going to take. Going to get our bishop out. I can't move it here, so controlling the center, next best thing I've got. Obviously we got castling, we got our snorkel, we got our bishop that needs developing. Okay. Castles, let's get our snorkel. Not a position we've seen before, but I don't think we need to stress too much here. We can still play with the habits, still control the center. That's still a trade, right? Nothing new. Bring the rook to the middle, all the same. Queen up, rook to the middle. Bruh, what are these moves? What do people think they're doing? I'm sitting here minding my own business, playing towards the center, just trying to be habitual. And guys come out with these wacky bishop sacrifices. Okay, we have a trade there. We're going to take right back. And our king is exposed, which is going to lead me to bring it back, right? Never want to have your king out and about there. We need to complete our development, so let's, of course, defend our bishop there. Little multi-purpose move. Okay, got our two rooks in the center. Okay, the guy's playing this. I suppose we could take. And take again. Okay, the rook is in the center. Fortunately here, with my hawk-like vision, we're able to see a nice move right here. Just a basic tactic for you. And what have I told you about this discovered attack? It's going to be the same type of tactic every single time. In this case, we want a pawn, but the tactical theme is identical, right? We've seen that so many times. It's like the bishop here, this behind. That's the theme right there. Sacrifice? What are you guys talking about? Well, hang on, let's debrief here. So we got a bishop and a pawn, and they got a bishop. So we ended up ahead of pawn. No, checks out to me. All right, let's grab a free piece here. Oh, and we get the resignation. We get the resignation. Now, the only thing you have to ask yourself is a discovered attack or a discovered check a basic tactic? Why, yes, it is. Was that a discovered check? Was that a discovered attack? Yes, it was. Amazing. We played a basic tactic. just like the habits rules suggest to do. Amazing. Amazing what can happen. Which is why you guys should all drill those basic tactics. As I said, if anyone goes in, as I've recommended a few times, if you go in, head to your tactics, you go to custom puzzles, have a look, discovered attack, discovered check, right? These moves are going to be, or these tactics are going to be important. Just go ahead and select these ones. Hit a rating range that makes sense for you. Start and just drill those. Guess what you're going to see if you drill those basic tactical themes? You're going to see exactly what just happened in the game. Which is why you're probably going to find it in game. Or at least I hope you will. After a little bit of practice. I don't recommend jumping in and just doing tactics. I recommend doing the specific tactic you want to work on. It'll help you out a lot. Do the basic ones. Fork, pin, skewer, discovered attack, discovered check. It'll help you tremendously. And I'd be willing to bet that you're going to see a nice tactic that looks identical to this. So you won't have any difficulty finding that in a game. I definitely think so, Dr. Jitsu. Kokalal, thanks for the 6 months, half a year. Welcome back. Mandermoo, thanks for the 3 months with Prime. Divide Peaks, almost 2 years together. Thanks for using Prime again. 8 months with Prime from Tunerer. Eggs Benny, the new sub, new Prime sub. Welcome in, welcome in. And Skyripper88, thanks for the 4 months. All right. And we back. The circle. The circle is here, and the circle is at, what, 879. Tonipo, thanks for the sub. The weekly reminder. I could say doubtful, Spudge. Doubtful. I know what you mean. The themed tactics are definitely the way to go. But yeah, I think the creation of them and reminder to do it was definitely more effort on our side than was worth it. I do think it's the best way to do them, though. Sad Dad City, welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, you got to catch them live. I can't say for sure when they'll be on YouTube, but they will be in time. Let's jump to the next one. Could we possibly hit 900? Brian Chess, it's all about the center, man. Side attacks lose to central play. Play in the center. If you play 100 games, you attack on the side versus play in the center, you'll win way more than playing in the center. We're looking for high percentage good decisions. I mean, you can see the account name, Jublet, right? So you could, if you wanted to watch on chess.com, you certainly could. Yeah, just don't make opposite color bishops, I guess, is what we're learning. I guess that's what we're learning. Got 900 covered level 2. I think so as well. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, we're back in. Rommel. Well, we want to meet in the center. Just match whichever one they do. Gonna bring the knights out next, both of them. Hang on a sec. We have a capture to make. And in comes the other knight. If we could manage to get this bishop out, boy, we would love it. And then the pawn comes up, and then the other bishop comes out. I think this is the stuff here. Knight gets attacked. Check the center first. Can it go here, here? No, it can't. Next best central square in the center of the board, and still hitting an actual square in the center right here. So we can go ahead and do that. We want to get castled. And of course, we want our snorkel with h6. And that's going to be a trade there. Okay, let's bring the rook to the middle, the queen up, the other rook to the middle. Hopefully these moves are making sense. Rook's in the middle. We have our pawn on h6. We've got our bishop out. We've pretty much done everything we need to do, which is why we are on to the RPMs. Okay, more trades. Hold the phone. Hold the phone, people. RPM time. Random pawn move. Make sure to use all the available pawn moves. Just get them up there if you can. Okay, take this one back and also bring our knight back sort of central here. Okay, we don't really have any more pawn moves, but we could bring a knight into the middle of the board, right? Into the actual center. Can't complain about that. Doubling the rooks is always possible, but it doesn't really feel good to double them right behind one of your own pawns. And rook here will start to make some sense. Even though it's not in the center, it's where our opponent's rook is, and it's a wide open line. So I know that we're going to be able to get some trades if we go there. So I think this one is on my mind here. And, oh, we do have a trade on the board. Knight into the middle. Trade on the board. Let's take this one. Rook's here. I mean, at this point, what can we do? Knight into the middle, not exactly possible. Queen into the middle, hey, there's a piece we can move. I like occupying the actual center. Makes me feel nice and warm inside. we could double the rooks here. Makes a little bit more sense than doing it here, right? Because I mean, what the heck are we doing in front of or behind our own pawns? So maybe we could double our rooks like that in the center. Hey, I think is he stealing one of ours? YouTube, buddy? Yeah, I like it. I like it. How am I going to get some trades here? Buddy's doing all my ideas. Maybe I have to do some bad moves, so he'll start copying my bad moves. Because, I mean, Buddy's just everywhere that I am. I'm in the center. I'm kind of lost for a move to do. Maybe we could take this pawn here. Struggling. Guy's playing pretty good habits himself. Right? Can't hate on his position. Hey, RPM by him. Can't hate it. I think we take it. Right? Just kind of take everything here and keep our queen in the center while we can. Okay, he takes here. The knight can't go in the middle. The queen's kind of already in the middle. Not really sure. Not really sure what to do, to be honest. Hit him with the RPM, I guess. I'm out of moves, out of ideas. Let's take. And we got our great snorkel there to keep us safe. Look at that. We even get to play King H7. What a guy. Help me out. Okay, queen there. What can we do? We're in the center with our pieces. Honestly, I'm feeling pretty good here. I don't really know what else to accomplish. Move our knight in. Yeah, we don't want to be doing any more RPMs right now unless we're sort of forced to. I say that mainly because the rest of our pawns that can move are in front of our king. They're keeping our king safe. And unless the queens get traded, I'm not interested in moving these. But if the queens disappear from the board, absolutely. That'll be the next thing we do. Okay. Just going to go back to the middle for now. I'm not feeling too confident in this position here. Queen takes. Okay, just going to stay central for now. Kind of ran out of things to do. I wish we could trade. I'm always looking for trades, but I don't really see a way we can trade the queens. Don't see a way we can trade the knights. Make one of our first threats of the game, I want to say. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, that just went unanswered, so let's take that with a check, of course. Keep taking here. Just going to be following our rules to the best of our ability, and this is looking like a fork here, using our basic tactics. That unfortunately, the same square can be utilized by a different piece. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. That's a fork into a fork, my friend. Oh, not even just to win the abandon. And we'll take it, bringing us up to 8-8-7. 8-8-7. Very nice. he did play really well. Everyone will make a mistake at some point. If he's 865 and he's playing the whole game with no mistakes, he should be higher than 865. Even seeing those mistakes, I still think he should be higher than 865. Played a good game there, but you know, if you're just generally looking at what's happening here, he's got more pawns moved in front of his king, and instead of, let's say, my point with the habit series is, although I admit we were a little bit aimless, I didn't really have a clue what to do because we don't want to move our pawns. Obviously, we don't want to bring our king out, and we're just kind of keeping our pieces around the middle of the board, right? Certainly not outside of this area for the most part. And so what my point is if we had the white pieces, what would the habits say to do with white? It would probably be moving our queen out of the way, trying to occupy the center, and pushing this pawn on the A file as soon as possible. So our opponent, did he do any of that? Not really, right? Like the queen check, I would say like we would want to be more around here. Or maybe taking the A pawn. So I liked his idea to take the A pawn. But, you know, he's got this. He's moving his king for I don't know what reason. He got two pieces on the side of the board versus two pieces in the middle. If we had white's position, there's no way we would be sitting here like this because we understand the importance of the middle. So we're sitting there in black's position. We're able to win it. But I'm saying that if we were playing with white's position, we would also do a bit better than this as well. And there's no way we would end up in this spot. Right? Just have a look at what the habits would tell you to do in certain positions, and you can see the difference. It does improve you. We would certainly play queen d5 as a more habitual type of move, right? Guards our knight straight into the center of the board, allows our pawn to move, and instead the opponent goes here, okay, walks into a tactic, right? Goes here, walks into a tactic, and it's just, obviously we ended up getting the win, but I feel that using the habits, we would have played white's position a little bit better if that's the one we had. We're at 887. Not bad. Well, you can offer it, Ryan. It's not going to be forced necessarily, right? They're not always gonna take it. Charts and Leisure, thanks for the 5 months with Prime. So it's just a reminder. Don't be too concerned about the position. If you follow the habits, you're going to be on the right track. Even though I admit we were a little aimless here. We just kept our pieces in the middle of the board. Didn't do too much. Made one threat as soon as there was a hanging pawn, right? We just attacked it. And that was enough to win. We literally just took hanging pawns and then he blundered every piece that he had. Before that, did we really have a clue what to do here? Not really. We're kind of like moving our knight around, like there, back, there, back. It's okay. Don't need to be concerned. We go next. Kane Ha, thanks for the Prime. Well, you're very welcome, Kana. Let's see if we can continue it here live. Lagostem, thanks for the new sub. Welcome in new viewers, new subs, new anythings. Okay, pawn into the center. The way we start every habits game. The knight follows, and our other knight follows that. So we got the 2 knights in. The bishop develops next so that we can castle. And if we ever do this to get our other bishop out, we don't want to block this one if we don't have to. So here we go. Let's get castled here. We have a nice snorkel to play. And in this case, I'm thinking, yeah, we have this, but we can be a little bit more ambitious with a pawn push up. And let's capture this. Our bishop needs to move. Both bishops hitting the center, both knights hitting the center. Rook into the middle, also hitting the center. This rook about to go here and hit the center. This is a dream position. We have our king taken care of. Every piece has something to do with the center. This is what you want. And when we see this, of course, we need a snorkel for our own piece so that we don't lose it. Rooks into the middle. What do we do once we bring all of our rooks to the middle? Got our pieces out. Got our snorkel. Hit him with the RPMs. Well, there's only one I can do, honestly. Our knight needs to move. Do we have the center available? First thing I check. No. Here, no. Here, no. Here. I think here. This is probably the best one we can do because everything is covered except these two. Would I put my knight on the side of the board? Or, I know it's not much more central, but it is more central. I would do this. Closer to the center. It's not a pretty choice. But at least we have another RPM now. Oh, there's a trade. Go ahead and take that. That's another trade. Go ahead and take that. And let's make sure to bring our piece back into the game. Poor guy. We can't move here or here, so I'm not going to play down a knight. Got to get the piece back. And yeah, let's maybe continue with the RPM next. Okay, takes. Let's take it back. Okay, finish up these random pawn moves. Let's go ahead and take. We are out of pawn moves at the moment. Always looking for trades. Got good pressure in the middle, but can't, win this piece or anything. Okay, RPM. Random pawn move. Let's go, let's go. We got blue skies ahead. Okay, our knight's hit. Well, that's the center. Can we go in the center? No. Can we go somewhere that at least attacks the center? I would say this, right? At least we're hitting the center. Next best thing. And we're offering a trade, which we always like to do. Okay, there's a trade there. Obviously, gonna take that back. And there's a pawn to take here. We're gonna take it and offer a trade. A win-win situation. And man, I tell you, he was so offended by the opportunity to hand over his queen and take my queen in exchange. Instead, he said, let me just hand over my queen. We can leave it at that. Okay. You want to have it your way. Have it your way. Fine, you win the negotiation. We'll do the trade your way. And we're up to 895. Wire trade's a good thing. They keep the game simple. When you're working on basic fundamentals, it's nice to have things really simple. Yes, you're going to make a few decisions that are probably not optimal by trading every single piece, but it's a good reminder to also look for relationships between pieces attacking one another. If you notice they're attacking, trade it. That way you're not going to lose it. And it reminds you to always look out for it. And of course, the most important reason, in the end game, I think with the 3 basic plans that we have, you guys are going to be way better than anybody you're rating. By just literally even just one habit, activating your king in the end game, that sets you like huge margin ahead of anyone else you're rating. We see people just leave their kings here in the end game. They're basically playing down a piece. Well, that was a great trade. Queen for nothing. That's what I like. Mocop, thanks for the forward prime. Negotiations are simple. When you're dealing with this guy, that's for sure. Bearded Exile, thanks for the new prime. Okay, we're playing Big Elon. But we're not going to change what we're doing. We're putting a pawn in the middle. We're bringing the knight out. The other knights to follow. And of course, the bishop comes next, as you know. We want to get castled. Very important to get castled as soon as possible. There we are. Get our snorkel up. And next move, given that we are in level 2, instead of the more modest d3, if we can, just a little bit extra space for ourselves. Why not? Pawn all the way up to d4. Don't mind if I do. Okay, we have a trade there. We have a trade there. Trade, trade, trade. We have a trade there. We have a bishop controlling the middle. Unfortunately, that was not an opportunity. It was covered. Knight here. We're going straight into the middle. Take that. The rook comes into the middle. Knight takes c2. Ay, ay, ay. What are you up to there, pal? Knight takes c2. Well, let's hit him with the RPMs. Trade is fine with me. Want to get my king into the middle. We are approaching endgame status. Okay. King on into the middle. Just keep it nice and simple. King's in the middle. Close off our RPM chapter here. I was actually going to move there next. He goes there, which means now we got to think. We got our king in the middle. We're in the end game. We've not really got any more pawn moves to do. And we got our rook stationed in the center pretty nicely. So well, let's move our knight into the middle, and we can do so by picking up a pawn. That's not bad at all. Okay. How can we follow suit here? Got our knight in the middle. all about the center. I'm all about trades as well, so not really minding a move like this, right? Even a move like this, just kind of hitting that bishop, preparing an RPM like that. Not crazy at all, right? We're still sort of near the center, so I don't hate that. Okay, take keys taken back in the center. I guess maybe into the center of the board ourselves. Never hurt nobody. And let's continue with our king. Let's continue with our king. King into the middle. Use it as a piece. Okay, rook needs to move. I mean, we're not literally in the center, so I guess we'll just try to stay nearby. Can't stay in the center anymore. Okay, we'll kind of keep our keep our king activity, right? We want to maximize here. He's moving the rook over. I guess we stick with it. Go our king. It's all we got. Okay, rook is being hit. I guess we can't go in the center, so stay somewhere nearby. Something like that. As close as possible. Okay, our knight needs to move into the center. Looks proper. In we go. Okay. I think we got to keep using our king here. He's starting to push, but we have our rook there, so I'm not overly concerned. Let's keep using our king. No problem. Take something. At least we have a pawn that can move now as well. Our rook's being attacked here. Okay. Move back. We know with these runaway pawns, we want to be able to get in front of them, right? Catch them like this. Okay. Now what? King. See if we can disrupt things over here. Our king. I know that it looks like we haven't really done much here, guys, but all I'm going to remind you is our opponent's king has not moved. It has not moved, okay? And there's a huge difference every single time we get to an endgame because I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, the guy's king hasn't moved. I'm playing ahead a piece. I have a whole extra piece. So to me, that feels extremely valuable. Well, let's keep taking. Okay. We're just using our king. I mean, literally, this king has, like, it's gone all the way up here, took something, came all the way back here, won the knight, came all the way down here, it's winning all the pawns. Like, I'm trying here. You know, I'm trying. It's, hang on a sec. King takes here, or runaway pawn. I mean, to be honest, not sure which habit takes precedence. The nice thing about king takes pawn is that we would win a queen there, so not crazy. Take a pawn here. Everyone, would you all please rise and give a standing ovation to Elon Hack 1, who moved his king for the first time on move 43. Yeah, if we could please recognize that. Move 43. Yep, congratulations. I mean, we're clowning around here. We're joking, but I'm serious, guys. It's so important to use the king. Okay, we can't go into the middle. Trying to move somewhere that controls the middle. Guess we'll stay central, but we need to move this knight again, right? Like, control the middle, and it's all about this pawn now, right? We want to get our king into the center. We want to escort our pawn up the board, right? There's nothing but blue skies ahead, so time to push that pawn. Push, push, push. And let's keep sending that pawn up the board. Using the king as a nice escort here. The underappreciated role, the male escort. All right, we have a queen. I'll bring that back to the center here. Take that one. Use our king. I'm gonna take our opponent's pawns here. And we can execute a nice checkmate in the corner. Elon hack 1. You can't tell me that this is unattainable. I got everyone saying, oh, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Every single move. Guys, the habits are not perfect. You're not always going to play the things. The same people that are yelling, why not this move, are the ones that are missing every other move down the line. Otherwise, you guys would all be chat pro GMs. So the whole point of the habits is not to spend every single move looking for the absolute ideal best move. It doesn't make sense. It's a poor use of your time. You're probably not going to find them anyway. Probably going to make mistakes doing it. So, yes. Has there been a pawn that we could capture since this move? Absolutely. But of all the times that we might take this, is there sometimes maybe some counterplay, or maybe some bad reasons why we wouldn't do that? Because you might get carried away and lose track of not finishing your simple development? Absolutely, yes. So instead, focus on the development, make moves that are solid anyway. And when we've come to the end of our habits, would you look at that? It's still right there for us. Is this position objectively good? No, it's not. But we've traded pieces and we've got to an endgame where we know, in general, we hold a massive advantage over our opponents. Why do we hold that advantage? Because we're up a piece. It's 3-on-2. I know you're looking at all the pawns. I mean, objectively, it's not a great position. But our opponent is not moving their king. We have an extra piece. Like, it's literally just this rook moving around. The only time he moved his king is when it's the only piece he could move. So why are we trading pieces? Why are we going to an endgame? Because nobody has a goddamn clue how to play an endgame to save their life. He spent the entire endgame, 20 to 25 moves, without his king moving a single square. So why would I not trade every piece and go to an endgame? Because I'm effectively up a piece in every endgame that I play. Why wouldn't I do that? It's just smart. It's extremely easy. Go to an endgame, nobody moves their fucking king, up a piece. Congrats. You win. It's that simple. Hello, Hella? No, some people just need to be reminded. You know? We got some people every single move. Why not this? How about this? How about that? Congratulations. You might have made a better move than the Habit series in that moment. Absolutely. Are we playing the best moves every move? Totally no. Right? That's the whole point of this series. We're not. We know we're not. But in general, we are playing a very high percentage move that's going to set us up pretty nicely for later. And would you look at that? The habits got us to the promised land once again. We don't always play the highest accuracy games, but we play high percentage moves. Safe ideas, having to do with the center of the board, moves that you can be proud of later. You know, you can look at the mirror and say, you know what, I played some good moves today. Very high probability to win. Absolutely. Is the king more prone to being checkmated in the middle of the board? With the queens on? Yeah. Am I telling you to bring your king into the middle of the board in the opening? Absolutely not. I'm saying in an endgame. It's very hard to checkmate the king in the middle of the board for anyone under 1,000 without a queen. Hopefully you can understand that as sub 1,000s yourself, right? How many checkmates have you performed without a queen? Like, and I'm talking about not at the literal end of the game. Like, how many checkmates have you ever performed without a queen? It's like almost none. Under 1,000s, do not checkmate without a queen on the board. It's just not a thing that happens. So if there's no queen, trust me, the center is very, very friendly. Yeah, you can have a look, Jod, at the account yourself. Just tab over to it. Habitual. You can see the account name here. You can check, you can game review every single game. You'll notice that probably for the most part, I would say they're above 50, but rarely would they ever be above 90, right? The habits will most likely get you somewhere between, 50 and 70% reliably. That's why it's a process, Brazilian monk. That's why it's a process, my man.